tuning into the program. I'm Connie Bryan, and you're watching The Connie Bryan Show. Well, we've got a really great show for you tonight. Coming up a little later on the program, I'm going to have local comedian Julia Ann joining me here in the studio. Very funny young lady, so you don't want to miss that. First of all, though, we always want to start off the show welcoming all of our viewers in our respective markets across the country. So I want to, of course, first and foremost, welcome our Sacramento and our Davis viewers. We're so excited to always have you with us, where we emanate out of Sacramento and our sister city, Davis. Also, we want to welcome our Santa Barbara and Pasadena viewers down in Southern California. So glad to have you with us tonight. And outside of California, we want to welcome our Denver Open Media viewers. So glad to have you with us. Also, our Washington D.C viewers. Very excited to have the program picked up in Washington, D.C. Also our Portland, want to welcome our Portland, Oregon viewers. And most recently, we've been picked up, we're very excited to announce, picked up by Minneapolis. So welcome to our Minneapolis viewers as well. This is the part of the program now where I like to catch you guys up on some stories that I've been keeping up with out of the newspaper. And of course, for our younger viewers, I always have to explain, because they're like, the newspaper, you know, what are you talking about? Yeah, see, like I've said before, those of us who are a little older than you know, we kind of like to hold on to a website in our hands. See, the newspaper is a website you carry around with you every day, wherever you go. And granted, you know, you have to pay $1.50 or $2 every day to get it, and it's only good for a day. So I admit that. Why would you want to do that? Well, it's kind of like, why would you want to give money to somebody that's holding a sign at the off ramp from the freeway? You know, it's kind of like that with journalists who write for newspapers. You know, they think of them as having a "Will Write for Food" sign. You know, so think about, you know, kicking in that $1.50 every day just to help them out. So here we go. Let's take a look at this first story here, entitled "Fur Flies as More People Bring Animals on Planes." I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this story. This is Daniel. Can you see Daniel, the emotional support duck, here in this picture? You heard me right. Emotional support duck riding on an American Airlines flight. Pet owners have lost their minds, if you ask me, okay? I mean, somehow pet owners have managed to infiltrate the commercial airlines and have managed to get them to lose their minds too. Listen, I love animals just as much as the next person, but if you can't fly on a public airline without your emotional support duck, you need to get your shit together on the ground, you know, at the local petting zoo first. And then you can join the rest of us sane people. Listen, the duck doesn't want to fly on a fucking plane anyway, okay? See, the duck knows how to fly. You know, that's duck abuse, making him fly on a frickin' airplane. You couldn't be insulting the duck in a worse way. He's looking out the window at his fellow ducks flying by or flying into the engine, whatever the case may be. And he's mortified with embarrassment and depression that you have him on the airplane. I mean, you're making the duck actually need a support duck. You know, that would be normal for him, see, because he's the freaking duck. What's next? I mean, we're gonna have the captain come over the intercom. You know, this is your captain speaking. Just want to thank you for flying American Airlines. I've turned off the no seatbelt sign, so parents, if you'd like to bring your kids to the rear of the plane, where we've constructed a small duck pond using an above-ground kiddie pool, where they can feed the ducks all during the flight. Also, we'd like to remind our cat owners on the plane that we have 4 self-cleaning kitty litter boxes adjacent to each of our restrooms on the plane. And also for our dog owners on American Airlines, there are complimentary doggy bags in the seat rest in front of you. So please don't forget to pick up after Spot if he likely shit himself on takeoff, especially if he did it in your neighbor's lap. Oh, and those of you who are allergic to cats and dogs, ducks and rabbits, we haven't forgotten about you here on American Airlines. Your flight attendants will show you how to use the overhead oxygen mask to avoid your pending asthma attack. I mean, it's just, airlines and pet owners have lost their freaking minds. All right, take a look at this story here. Legendary folk rock icon Paul Simon is announcing the sad news that he is retiring from touring. I love Paul Simon, so I was not happy to hear about this. But then there was the less important story, shall we say, of the ex-Spice Girls meet up amid reunion rumors. It says all 5 members of the Spice Girls, Posh Spice, Sporty Spice, Baby Spice, Scary Spice, and Ginger Spice, have been seen meeting with their manager Simon Fuller amid plans to reunite. Upon hearing the news about the Spice Girls, Paul Simon rolled his eyes and then made more news by announcing on social media that actually he's not retiring completely. He and partner Art Garfunkel will be taking on the role of co-managers for the real original Spice Girls, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme, coming out of retirement. Wow! And if that wasn't big enough news, Paul announced that Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme are going to be joined and fronted now by a 5th Spice Girl of their own, Neil Young's iconic Cinnamon Girl. Yes, you heard me. Isn't that awesome? Paul said, I'm tired of these copycat knockoff spices. We're going to show the world how you make real music from a spice cabinet, okay? But are you sitting down? Because the biggest surprise of all was when co-manager Art Garfunkel dropped the bomb that their original Spice Act has recently been picked up by, wait for it, Death Row Records. You heard me. This is amazing stuff, isn't it? I mean, he said they're going to be blowing everyone away with their new album. They're coming out with a new album. It's called Drive By Mrs. Robinson, which will include hip-hop remixes of their big hits. The new remixes are going to be The Sound of Silencers, Straight Outta Scarborough Fair, and Hazy Shade of Reefer. So look forward to that coming soon. All right, take a look at this story from the People section of our local Sacramento Bee. Carrie says users should drop out of Facebook. Says delete your account. That's what Jim Carrey says Facebook users should do, as the actor looks to pull the mask off of fake news. Ha ha. See, they made a funny pull the mask, because Jim Carrey was in the movie The Mask. To which Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg responded, "Excuse me? Spank you very much. Look, we all love and respect Jim Carrey for his very funny animal-loving work on Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. So if he's now stepping up as America's spokesperson on this topic, I just want to make sure I have this straight. So everybody's A-okay with all your 1,500 or so fake friends on Facebook? You know you only have 2, maybe 3 real friends, right? Out of all of them. I mean, those are the ones who will help you move when you need to move. No, you can't count your family on Facebook either, because most of them are pretending to be your friends because they have to. I mean, if you're honest, for most of them, if they weren't family, you probably wouldn't be their friend either, right? And we're all A-okay with all of our daily deceptive fake posts and our fake representations of our lives, on Facebook for the benefit of our ex-husbands and our ex-wives and for the benefit of our ex-friends that we will never unfriend so that they can see how great we make ourselves look on Facebook and so that we can still spy on them as well. So we're all perfectly fine with all of that fakeness, but you're saying we've all decided to get religion with Jim Carrey on fake news. Okay, just so we're all on the same page, and I know where everybody wants me to draw the line, Mark Zuckerberg said. And he concluded with, all righty then. Okay, take a look at this story here. I couldn't resist. I had to show you this. an honest, revealing moment like I don't think I've seen before. A behind the scenes, very revealing moment of Donald Trump. Can you see this? If we can get in close. You know, he knows he's been exposed by the Access Hollywood tape, and he knows he's been forever shut down by the hashtag #MeToo movement. This is actually a very candid moment showing how deeply depressed Trump is as a result of all of this. I mean, you can read his mind in this picture. You really can. He got elected president of the United States, but he's depressed because he knows he can never again get away with grabbing women by the pussy. So all he can do for the rest of his life is this. He can only daydream like this moment here, captured in the Oval Office, where Donald Trump appears to be fantasizing by creating a pussy with his own little tiny hands. But now, sadly, all he can do is let one of his hands grab the other. God. This can't be happening, Donald Trump is president. That's what I keep telling myself. It's got to be a bad dream. All right, take a look at this last story here by Ellen McCarthy of the Washington Post, entitled "Smartphone Addiction, Hard Habit to Kick." Listen to this one paragraph under the title "Calming the Twitch" in the story. It says, Will Yost, a 24-year-old project manager in Oxford, Mississippi, found himself feeling phantom vibrations. So he deleted his Facebook app, which has helped a little bit. Not completely, just a little. And then it goes on to say, Kay Rind, a 52-year-old sales director in Silicon Valley, cuts off her home's Wi-Fi at 11 p.m. every night, and she downloaded an app that lets her shut off her 3 teenagers' phones remotely. Sadly, we'll probably be hearing on the news soon about Kay Rind being killed in her sleep by her kids so they can get back on Facebook and Instagram. But anyway, this story doesn't quite do the problem justice, if you ask me, because the problem is really much worse. It's such a bad addiction that people can't do anything now, anything without their cell phones. Remember when cell phones first came out? I remember the addiction happened really fast. Kind of like people who try methamphetamines one time and immediately they go off the rails and become Walmart shoppers. When cell phones first hit the market, in no time, you couldn't go out to dinner. This is how it first started. The problem first started, you noticed it because you couldn't go out to dinner at a restaurant without having to listen to somebody on their cell phone in the booth next to you, calling their mom to tell her that her meatloaf was still better than Denny's. And then within a few months, it got so bad, just within a few months of that, you couldn't go to the movies anymore without having to listen to some moron right behind you giving spoilers to somebody on his cell phone. Yeah, dude, you aren't going to believe this. Turns out Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. So now we have to sit through more trailers at the movies telling people to turn off their fucking cell phones than we do for previews of coming attractions. So I wrote a song about it I'd like to do for you. And this is going to be to the tune of Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. This is my version. I'm going to do my best Bob Dylan impersonation for you here. This song I wrote about the problem of cell phone addiction. Everywhere you go, you're on the phone. Does that sound like Bob Dylan? All right. People driving off the road just to keep from crashing into you. You don't care, you're checking your hair with your cell phone up to your ear while we're all blowing our horns at you. You used to run all of those four-way stops. You never could bring yourself to just hang it up. But now you don't talk so much. Now you think life really sucks. Just 'cause now the judge makes you hold on to your damn steering wheel. Help me out. How does it feel every day you kept talking away. Even at McDonald's, people were giving their middle finger to you. One of these days you're gonna cross the line. Somebody's gonna pull out a plastic spork and try to stick it in you. Well, maybe now you're gonna finally understand why the judge turned off your precious calling plan, and you won't cause another fucking traffic jam. Now that you have at least one free hand, now that you pulled your fat head out of your Verizon ass, how does it feel? You can't pay your cell phone bill. They turned off your mobile phone, and now you're all alone with no direction home. You're just a rolling stone. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around. We got a great show coming up. You don't want to miss comedian Julia Ann joining me here in the studio coming up in just a minute. We'll be right back. Hey there, thanks for staying with us. I'm Connie Bryan and you're watching The Connie Bryan Show. And I'm excited to have with me right here in the studio tonight, local comedian Julia Ann. Welcome to the show, Julia.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. So let's tell everybody, because I know you might be a little shy to tell them, you've been performing all around the country. You've been really working hard. Tell us some of the states and places, clubs you've been doing stand-up at.
I've been in Oregon, Washington, Montana, Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado.
They have comedy in Wyoming?
Believe it or not,
yes.
yes.
All right, good.
Yes.
But you do a lot in the Pacific Northwest,
Yes,
and here
a lot
in
there.
the Sacramento area.
A little bit in Sacramento. Most of it is the Pacific Northwest and the rest of the western states.
Okay, and how did you get, it's relatively new for you, right? You started a little later in life doing stand-up comedy. Tell us how you got into it.
I started out in Toastmasters doing humorous speeches.
Toastmasters, okay.
Yeah, and a friend thought my speeches were funny, so she said I should try stand-up comedy, and I thought she had lost her mind.
But she kept encouraging you.
For 6 months she pushed me to do it, and for 6 months I told her no. And finally I did it just to shut her up, and I fell in love with it, and haven't been able to get me off the stage since. So.
Yes. And she's not going to tell you, so I'm going to tell you because she is a little humble here. Julia actually competed in the preliminaries of the World Series of Comedy in Las Vegas, and you made it to the finals.
Yes.
So fantastic, great job.
Thank you.
What was that like?
That was wonderful. It was great to be in a competition with so many great comedians.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't sure what to wear today. I was nervous about it, and so.
Well, you made a great choice. You look awesome.
Well, thank you. I was going to wear my skinny jeans and put them on, and looked at myself in the mirror and realized that they don't work. So
they didn't look skinny like the advertisement?
No.
You kidding?
No, didn't do their job. So, and then I was going to put on Spanx. And are you familiar with Spanx?
Spanx. Can't say that I am. It sounds like something that I might get at the local, Sacramento just got its first hustler store, which is very controversial in the news right now. Sacramento doesn't know what to think about a hustler store here in town. But either that or something that, I don't know, Stormy Daniels might wear with Trump.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, Spanx is actually, it's a torture device probably invented by a man, and it's meant to hold everything in really tight. And your grandmother or mother probably referred to theirs as a girdle.
As a girdle, okay.
Yeah, it's similar to a girdle, but it holds it really, it's an elastic, and it holds everything really, really tight. The problem was if I wore it here, I wouldn't be able to speak with you because it holds everything in, which is great, but you can't talk, you can't eat, you can't, breathe, and it pushes everything
Definitely invented by a man.
Yeah.
Like you said.
What it holds in doesn't disappear, it pushes it up higher, so what you see is enormous boobs is actually your internal organs.
So it's not all the boobs, it's everything else compressed up in there with it.
Yes, so not a good choice. So the first time I ever wore Spanx was to a show I was doing, and honest to God, true story, I had to use the bathroom before the show, and Spanx are made with snaps at the crotch so that you can use the bathroom.
Oh.
So I went in there.
Oh,
was
no.
the only one in the bathroom. I unsnapped it. The front side hit me in the face. Back side hit me in the back of the head. I lost consciousness.
So now the club is probably having to institute the concussion protocol like the NFL on you, right?
Yeah. And when I came to, I couldn't find the Spanx.
You couldn't find them?
No,
What?
they had rolled up really tight, and I couldn't find them to pull them back down and get them snapped back up. So I was probably in there 20 minutes fighting with them, and my husband was outside.
I wonder what happened to you.
Yeah, poked his head in and asked if I needed some help, if everything was okay, and I told him, no, please get in here and help me, because I was desperate. And you might think, well, why didn't you just pull up your pants and go out? But without the Spanx, I couldn't get my pants back up because everything was held in so tight. So I got him in the bathroom, and the only way we'd fit is for me to turn around and face the wall with my hands on the wall, straddling the toilet. He got in on his knees behind me.
All right, folks, if you just tuned into the show, this is a true story. Some people may have it. She's not making this up.
They might be wondering what we're talking about.
This really happened.
So we're in there, and I'm trying to find the front, and he's trying to find the back, and we're trying to hurry, and we're huffing and puffing and sweating, and I'm yelling faster, faster, because I want to get done with this. And I hear somebody yell, "Get a room," and slam the door shut.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Totally sounded like you guys were doing the wild thing in there.
In the bathroom.
But you're just trying to find your Spanx.
Yeah. So we found him, we put him back together, and I thought, how can we even leave the bathroom? Because whoever it is out there thinking they know what happened in there. So I just took a deep breath, pulled open the door, and high-fived my husband, and I said, well, we can cross that off our bucket list.
Off your bucket list.
And we just walked out.
Hilarious.
So, yeah.
What else is going on?
My husband and I are trying to lose weight again.
Oh, the dreaded dieting and the New Year's resolution. That's right.
We had done so well before the election. We were losing weight and feeling good, and you've heard of the freshman 15.
You get depressed because you need comfort food dealing with this. This can't be happening. Trump cannot be. How can we put those two words together? President Trump two words that should never go together. Okay.
No, we gained the Trump 30.
The Trump 30 pounds?
So now we're trying to get back on some kind of diet.
All right, tell me about that. How's that going?
Not well. It's not good because he's still in office, so it's
hard to...
a losing battle day to day.
You still need the comfort food.
Yes. So at first my aunt told me, well, try Jenny Craig. It's really easy to lose weight on Jenny Craig. So I asked her, well, is the food good on Jenny Craig? And she goes, don't worry about the food. She goes, Jenny Craig's going to take all your money away, so you're not going to have any money for food. That's how you lose the weight.
So that's how Jenny Craig does it. They're so expensive that then you can't afford
You can't afford your food. So then another friend gave us the vegetable soup diet. And are you familiar with that?
The vegetable soup diet. I can't say I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that one, you make this huge pot of soup that's all vegetables. Mm-hmm. And you can eat as much as you want, as often as you want.
I like veggies.
But that's all you can eat.
But that's it?
That's it. Just vegetable soup.
You have to go vegetarian.
That's all you eat. And I was okay day 1, day 2, day 3. I opened the refrigerator, and I swear that the pot of soup I had in there, a vegetable swam from one side of the pot to the other and ate on the other side.
No way.
I couldn't eat it. I had to dump it down the drain.
I'm going to be sick.
And then I ate the entire contents of the refrigerator.
It just made you eat everything else in sight.
So I gained 10 pounds on the vegetable soup diet. So that isn't going to do it for us either. So I don't know what we're going to do. We're still looking for the perfect diet now. Maybe Weight Watchers. I don't know.
I know we were talking off camera earlier about both of our shared concerns about getting older, and where has the time gone? I know you talk a little bit about that in your act too.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. My doctor, for instance, thinks every problem I have has to do with, the fact that I've gone through menopause. It's all women problems. So the other day I went to see her, and she says, strip down and put on this gown, up on the table, put your feet in the stirrups, and we'll have a look at that sinus infection.
All that for your sinus infection. I'm not sure about that, Dr. Julia.
Everything's related.
Okay, I mean...
Everything's... Yeah. That there are hair issues I wasn't dealing with before. Like I was checking my mail and talking to my neighbor, and she says, "Oh, honey, you've got a hair on your chin. Let me get that." And she went to swat it away, and it was attached. It was 6 inches long, and it wasn't there
Who
that
grabs a
morning.
hair on your neck?
Yeah.
Anyway,
It reminded me of my grandkids. They take something and run with it. Part
she
of body
pulled on
part
this
and go.
hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So I've told my kids now if I'm ever in a
who
coma-
does that? Her neighbor.
Yeah.
If you see a hair on somebody, ladies, if you see a hair on somebody, another lady's neck, don't grab it and call attention to it.
My kids have been told if I'm ever in a hospital in a coma, they're to pluck me twice a day or I'll haunt them the rest of their life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit also about the whole weirdness about plastic surgery out there, the
Oh.
fake,
Yeah.
pretentious trend of.
That you don't even
I mean,
recognize people when you see them anymore.
Yeah,
You
I
just
mean,
know
like-
them by the voice. It's like, what? Who is that? Now, I decided my husband likes boobs, and so if it ever comes down to it and I want to do something special for him, I'm just going to have extra nipples put on every place I've got fat. And that man will never leave the
Extra
house.
nipples.
Yes.
Where that I had never thought of that. Where else could you effectively put nipples?
You put them on your butt cheeks or on your thighs.
On your butt
or-
cheeks, and then your husband might feel more inclined to kiss your ass more often. I like it.
Perfect. It'd be perfect. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know, just in closing, you talk on your act. It's very funny. You come on stage and you have you show everybody all these things you have to put on medically related to before you go to. We only have about 30 seconds, but if just
all of the medical equipment that you have when you get older that you've accumulated
before you go to
over the
bed,
years.
when you
Yeah.
have to put on the braces and.
That's at the very end of my act. If you ever come to a show, is me putting on every bit of medical equipment that I have to show you visually what it's like to get old.
Yes, you get the neck brace, and then you talk about how that
neck
helps you
brace.
if you're. I can't say it, but if you're doing something for your husband, and
Certain tasks.
it gives you a little bit more support.
Yeah, neck brace, back brace.
You're putting all this
elbow
on
brace,
stage as
wrist
you're telling them.
brace.
Wrist brace was,
For carpal tunnel.
and then you tell the audience how you got the carpal tunnel.
Yeah, gee, I don't know how I got carpal tunnel.
So what happened there?
Well, I had surgery and they said, don't use this hand.
Well, how's that
because
going to
that's
go
rest.
over?
Well, not well because I'm not coordinating.
Right,
this
you have to
hand.
try and then.
So now my husband has carpal tunnel.
So now your husband has carpal tunnel. Oh, been great having you, Julia.
It's been great being here. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.